What a game. What a game. I mean, you got to take the gifts when they come, right?
Yeah, well, like you're saying in
First off,
chat, right?
yeah, I mean, a huge mistake on the ref's part. You need to, I mean, there's four guys out there. Any one of them could have blown the whistle and said, "Hey, goalie's not set." Um, you know, looks horrible on them. The home crowd is not happy, obviously. And then to have Abbotsford score the winning goal on the power play, um, almost stings that little extra bit.
Well, and even the
Given that,
announcers in Charlotte there, they're like, that's one you can't, there's no disputing it, right? You shoot the puck over the glass in your own zone, and that's a penalty regardless of anything. You know, they might have maybe that Walmon one back in the Edmonton playoff series where it definitely ticked the glass, but you couldn't actually see it. You could maybe hear it. But other than those like
yeah,
really iffy ones,
yeah,
it's pretty much a penalty every time.
yep, no, absolutely, and I think we've seen one for the Canucks there. I think they've had one tick off a camera, and it was even called a penalty. So
Oh, really?
there's, you got to keep it below the top of the glass. So huge for the Canucks power play to come up there at the end. Klimovich with a great shot, um, beating Kakinen far side there, and securing game one. It's huge, so huge to win the first game of the series. I think in NHL stats, the game one winner goes on to win the series like 68% of the time, 68 to 69% of the time.
Nice.
So AHL, I mean, probably similar in a 7-game series. So game one is a big one. You get the split here, and then you're guaranteed a split now. That's worst case scenario. So best case scenario, you're coming home up 2 with 3 games in your home building. So even if they're coming home 1-1, they have 3 games at home to try and take 2 out of those 3, or even all 3 of them for a Calder Cup victory. This team just has no quit in them. Like Artur Silovs, yes, I was ragging on him for the 3 goals he let in early in this game, but man, did he shut me up, and I'm so glad he did, because he held this team in this game. I mean, 50, what was the final count?
54 shots on goal.
51 saves, I think.
Yeah. So 51
Yeah, so
saves.
51 saves total. Like unreal performance from Artur Shilovs.
So the Canucks power play goes for 2 for 7. So clearly the message from the league is probably like, we need to make sure that we're getting the calls because we don't want this game to get out of hand right off the bat because all eyes are on us. We got the YouTube channel, the Twitter, everything's going for free. Do you think there was like an edict coming down from the league saying, hey, you guys got to keep this game under wraps? And that's why 7 power plays for the Canucks and 5 power plays for the Charlotte Checkers. That seems like a very high total for a game 1 of a cup finals.
I mean, to be fair, most of them were indisputable penalties,
Mm-hmm.
really. I mean, the high stickings and the high hits and the cross checks. I mean, and the trips, the ones they called were all penalties. Did they miss quite a few as well? Absolutely. Like this game could have had, probably 35 to 40% of it played in special teams. So, you know, do I think maybe there was some posturing with the free broadcast and having certain officials be on the ice that maybe aren't as qualified as some other AHL officials?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Um, I don't know that this was the best crew to be out there to do a Calder Cup finals. A couple of them have not had the greatest playoffs so far. Um, that being said, the AHL is a training ground, so these guys are still learning as well, and they're doing their best. But there was a lot they could have done better. They did, I mean, control the game well enough between after the whistles. There wasn't really too much crazy extracurricular stuff going on, but overall, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, they got the calls they needed to, right? They missed a couple of bad icings and no icings, both ways. I mean, they were not consistent against either one of them, and so this I'm just happy to be out of this game on the right side of it.
Yeah, because let's be honest, like a lot of that game, the Abbey Canucks looked like they had like foot and mouth disease or something like that. They seemed a little bit out of sorts, probably a result of having 5 days off, playing a team they've never seen before, and a very stacked team that has a lot of those tweeners that we talked about, right? A lot of these guys have got NHL games under their belt, and Abbey does as well. But man, the Checkers have some top end talent that, and I mean, Puljujärvi, was a big presence out there. And I think the Canucks, for their part, did a really good job of taking those top guys and preventing them from creating a lot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, they did. After the first period, when they got their the 2 goals in the first, um, they really did crack down. Yeah, they got the third goal in the second period there, but that one was more of a, okay, this guy used a screen well, nice toe drag. It was a good shot. Whereas the first two in the first period weren't the best defense.
Mm-hmm.
We collapsed on ourselves and created the screens ourselves in front of Silovs. Like, yeah, Silovs needs to make the save, but the D man can't be backing in that much to block out the goalie's line of sight as much as they did. So, you know, um, I I I tend to hang it on the goalie, but it's a team game out there, right? So you gotta obviously look at those little plays, and I'm sure they will clean it up a bit. I think a lot of it, like you said, had to do with them not seeing this team
Mm-hmm.
until tonight, playing against them, and also playing in a building where the conditions clearly were not great. Um, you know, not everywhere has the type of arenas that we have in Canada where you can play all year round and have high quality winter ice because they keep the building cold and they have incredible cooling systems. Whereas, there you could hear, the announcers saying they wanted to wear shorts and a t-shirt in the next game because it was too hot in the booth. Well, if it's that hot up in the stands, that heat's just coming down to the ice. And I mean, it was probably like skating in slush for those guys for like the last 5 minutes of each period.
Oh, I mean,
And you could
you look at
see
that third
the ice
period, it looked like the
deteriorate
the
as the
whole
game went
third
on.
period
The
was
puck,
slush.
like, yeah, I mean, it looked like they were playing with a bouncy ball at times out there. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Uh, Thomas in the chat just donating $2 to say, Rusty and Dusty, what's good? Thanks for the dono, Thomas. And then Connor Gale donating $5 or £5 or whatever that symbol is. Hey, Rusty and chat and Dusty. Messaging you to say I'm incredibly proud of what the Abbey has done to be just 3 games away from immortality. Canada's real team. F the Oilers. Yep. Thanks for the
I
dono.
agree.
So the other question I had for you about the Charlotte Checkers, because obviously we haven't seen them a lot, and we talked about this in the stats that you want, but you don't really need, but they're 7%
Mhm.
on the power play, and they had 5 chances tonight. So that 7% is now going to go down even further. They only have 3 power play goals now on 48 chances off the top of my head. So how does a team with that much talent suffer so badly with the man advantage?
Sometimes you overthink it, right? Like you start to look for too many passes, and you are trying to make the perfect play. Maybe you're too passive, and you're sitting back and waiting for a hole to open up. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're playing against a team like Abbotsford that has the best penalty kill that I've probably ever seen run a playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be in the 90% like in the playoffs is unreal. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a team kill off as many penalties as the Abbotsford Canucks have in this short of a time. It's been, I mean, that's not a good thing necessarily because they're taking so many penalties, but the fact that they're able to kill them off without really a care in the world because their structure is so tight. When they're a man down, they really don't give you anything. So it doesn't bode well at all for Charlotte coming into this series. And I mean, looking at what happened tonight, I mean, they really didn't generate anything on the power play. Abbotsford just continued to do what they do and play their box and rotate guys when they need to, and just keep everything to the outside on the power play. They really they really did a good job there, obviously, and Silovs came up with a couple of big saves as well, which is always helpful on the penalty kill.
Yeah, KG Brazy becoming a member again. Thank you very much, KG Brazy. Your 5th month as being a member on Nothing Is Perfect. That's awesome. Special teams wise, they've already updated the stats, so I can actually bring it up here for everyone to see. So after tonight's game, as we mentioned, the Charlotte Checkers only has 3 goals on the power play. They're now down to 6.3% on the power play. And then the Abbotsford Canucks, for their effort at the killing off all 5, they've now moved up to 91.4% on the penalty kill, which is not the best, obviously, but the 3 teams that are better than them only played 2 games, 8 games, and 6 games. The Canucks have now played 19 games, and they're running at just below 92%. Like, that is between the special teams of having a 22.8% power play and a 91.4% penalty kill. The advantage is just slightly for the Canucks, and that showed up tonight because Abby scored 2 power play goals, and Charlotte couldn't get one in.
Absolutely. Special teams win championships.
Except unless you're the 2011 Canucks. I mean, who had the most impressive performance, you think, out of the Vancouver or the Abbotsford Canucks tonight? Because there was a bunch of guys who stepped up. Like we said, Sammy Blais had a couple of assists. Max Sasson was looking good, setting up the Klimovich overtime winner. Was there anyone that you didn't expect to look as good as they did and ended up stepping up?
Oh man, Tristan Nielsen had a really great game.
Mhm.
He threw a couple of huge hits out there tonight. Got an assist on Ty Mueller on the tying goal.
Mhm.
Was really driving the energy anytime he was out on the ice. I really liked the way he played. I thought he took a high hit there, but it ended up
Yeah.
being a Kudryavtsev interference penalty. So I don't know how that one worked out, but no, Nielsen did the right thing, using his body the right way, and getting getting a huge assist late in the game. So I really think he outperformed what I expected out of him. I would have liked to have seen more from Baines and Kara
Mhm.
and those guys, but Sammy Blais, Max Sasson, and obviously Klimovich in getting the game winner really stepped up. So overall, great game. Best player on the ice tonight, though, again, Artur Silovs with the 51 saves on 54 shots.
So having said
In my
that,
opinion.
what do you think they did with the 3 stars down there in Charlotte?
Oh, they probably gave it to I'm guessing they gave it to Klimovich for the game winner. And then they probably gave it to a couple of checkers. I don't know. I
No,
don't know
not
what they would
quite. They're
do
not
in
quite
North
that bad.
Carolina
Not
for
quite
hockey.
that bad. They did give Danila Klimovich got the game winner in overtime. And then Artur Silovs, for some reason, with 51 saves, only the 2nd star. And then Justin Sordiff had a goal. I noticed him on the goal.
Okay.
Right? Like, and if you look down at the stats of the game, right? You're looking at
If
this,
anything,
right? You got Max Sasson, the goal and
yeah,
assist. Sammy Blais, 2 assists on some really big goals. Nate Smith scoring a huge goal. And then on the other side, even for the Checkers, right? You're looking at all their guys. Yeah,
Matt
and Justin
Pierce
Sordiff,
had
1
2
goal, I
assists
guess.
and
Good enough.
yeah,
I might even give it to
sure.
Capo Kakinen over Sordiff.
Sure. You know what? I was actually, because the home stream tends to not lag as much as the away stream when you're watching on Flow.
Yeah.
I was listening to the American guys, and they really they don't know their hockey very well. And there's moments where they say things that they just sound so unintelligent, and it just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up because I want to be like, you guys can learn how to pronounce like people's names just because they don't play for you. Doesn't mean you can't like take the time to like learn how to pronounce out of town players' names. Like, this is the Calder Cup finals. Have some professionalism, learn the other team, learn the basic rules of hockey so that you're not saying things like, oh, he got all puck there when it's clearly a trip right in the skates or stuff like that. It's just a really bad look on on the state of. I mean, it shows you why certain NHL awards go the way they do. These are the guys that make the voting. So it's like, oh boy. It's
Yeah.
no wonder that that people like Adam Fox are getting fifth place votes.
Well, I mean, and I'll be the first one to say, well, in this series, like you listen to the Texas Star series, my play-by-play went from being like, I have no idea who the Texas Stars are. By game 6, I'm calling all out, right? But I'm just some random dude sitting in my fake
Yeah,
bar on my
exactly.
couch, right? Whereas like tonight, I know maybe 4 or 5 names on the Charlotte Checkers, so you work into the process. But these are guys who are literally sitting in the stadium, and they don't have. I'm watching on a damn screen with terrible camera angles. I can't even see the nameplates, and I do my best. But like for these guys, they're
Yeah.
literally being paid to do the job, and I can pronounce their guys' names better than they can, right? But I mean, North Carolina, right? So English is kind of a second language there, I think.
Yeah. Well, and it just takes preparation, right? Like you think about guys like John Shorthouse and the way that he is prepared for every team, and he knows every single player in the whole NHL, and he knows which line is coming on and line changes and power plays, and he's got everything separated out, right? Like these are the players. These guys, you can tell it's just like, oh yeah, to Smith and over to number 81. Like they'll call out numbers
Yeah,
and things.
yeah,
It's just it doesn't make for a good viewing experience, right? And
yeah. Yeah.
that's one of the downfalls
It's kind of funny how it goes,
of
though.
that thing. It's why probably American viewers don't find hockey as entertaining, right? Like if you don't have someone bringing the excitement to the game, because they don't really like get excited either. Even when their home team scores, it's like, oh, who scored? Because you don't know which side scored because they're really not. They're not giving you much.
There was one though. I think Silovs made this like rudimentary, like easy glove save, and they're like, "Silovs, make the glove save!" And I'm like, "Oh my, calm down, bro! Like, yeah, are you in love with this man now or something?" So what's your level of
Yeah, it's like
concern?
they have pinpoints.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's like they have pinpoints for like, the certain things happen in the game, and it's like that's an exciting thing. That's an exciting thing. That's
Yeah.
an exciting thing.
The question I had for you was any concern with Silovs energy levels moving into game 2, because obviously only one day off. They're playing it on Sunday. It's actually another 4 o'clock game. So any worry about Shilovs moving into the next one, or is it just like everyone played the whole game, so it is what it is?
I think at this point you're so far into the war that it's get an IV on you and some electrolytes and get a good sleep and get some rest tomorrow and be ready to go Sunday. And that's it. There's no other words for this is Cup Finals. These are the biggest games these kids have ever played, except for Sammy Blais, obviously, who has played in the Stanley Cup Finals
Mm-hmm.
and has a Stanley Cup ring. So um, right now, you can't think about being tired. You can't think about being sore. You can't think about being hurt. You got to go and just do whatever it takes to be ready for the next game because there's only 6 left at most and only 3 left to the victory. So right now, that puck tree is looking pretty full, and at this point now, I'm sure a lot of these guys are just operating on adrenaline. Every time you get to the rink, you're just ready to go. That victory is so close, and these guys have overachieved, and so you just got to put it to the back of your mind and not feel it. I mean, you and I have played men's league hockey games with injuries because it's playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not comparing it, but it's just what you do, right? Like you sack up for your team and you get out there. So it's just at this level, obviously, it's going to be even more intense. So um, I would expect him to be good to go. Um, I think earlier in the playoffs, he was having a tough time with the quick turnaround on game twos.
Mm-hmm.
And that was evident with having a couple of poor game twos, but he's slowly grown into a big game goaltender more so than he was before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just really looked locked in these playoffs when it matters most. Uh, the team has helped bail him out. Like
Mm-hmm.
tonight, if the game got away, whatever, right? Like he did let in a couple poor goals, but overall the team kind of held in there and hung in there. And had they lost in overtime, it's okay because we were able to tie this one up. We know what to expect from these guys now going into game two, but now there's just that little less pressure for these guys to go into game two, and it'll be interesting to see if they can drive the play a little more earlier in the game.
Now, Malhotra is not a man who's afraid to change the lineup on a win. We've seen him do it so far in this playoffs. Is there anyone you think he might get out of the lineup and bring in, or do you think he just run with the same lineup for the next game?
It obviously depends on how he felt everyone played tonight, and also what he thinks he might need based on the structure that the Checkers bring. Right, like this was obviously the lineup he felt was his best lineup tonight. He's typically swapped in 2 players every night, so we'll see who the 2 are that come out. I'm sure someone could use a rest. Maybe it's time for Christian Lannon to take maybe a game off, or it might be time for Tristan Nielsen to maybe take one off because he had an intense night tonight. Give him a night to recuperate, and maybe you bring someone in. Maybe Atu Ratu's ready to go again. We don't know really the status on any of these guys until pretty much game time. So um, we'll have to see. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens. And then the last thing I wanted to get by you is the officiating. Jordan Samuel Thomas, number 42, the referee, eh? We've seen him a bunch of times. There was even one game where he was reffing for the Canucks. He was literally reffing the night before in a completely different series. They flew him all the way across the country, and then he reffed the Canucks game. Why are they so high on this guy? Because he doesn't seem to really know what's going on out there.
I mean, do I have to say it?
Yeah.
There's never been a black referee like wearing the stripes, really, right? Like, there's not as many of them. There are more now come to the league. But as a man, I knew the black official in the league as Jay Shares. He was a linesman, and he actually was my neighbor. His mom lived right next door to me, so I actually have some pictures of him signed and everything. He was the first black official in the NHL, and I actually think he deserves to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's in the BC Hockey Hall of Fame, but he was top linesman towards the end of his career, doing Stanley Cup Finals right up until he retired. And so there's more of that diversity and inclusion happening around the world, which is great. But I'd like to see him improve his hockey knowledge a little more. He does an okay job out there. Like, he does an adequate job, but in the Calder Cup Finals, I expect the best. The best up and comers that are like ready to make that jump into the NHL. Like, I don't see the 2 officials, even the 4 officials tonight that officiated this game, like the linesmen too, made mistakes that you can't be making in the NHL, especially not the NHL playoffs. So I don't know if it's just a matter of they don't have as many people coming through as officials, because I know it's an issue right through all levels of hockey that not as many kids are getting into officiating because of the pressure from coaches and parents and the scrutiny that they face. Like, it's not a fun job to do. Even when I was young, you get yelled at. You're like a 14-year-old kid out there just trying to like make it so that there can be minor hockey league games, and there's like 40, 50-year-old men and women yelling at you and screaming obscenities or yelling that they're going to kill you and things like that. And that's in minor hockey. So it only gets worse at higher and higher levels. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm sure tonight, after tonight's game, having it happen in a state like North Carolina, he's going to get a lot of hate. Wherever it comes from, he's going to get a lot of hate, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and I feel bad for him. I do, because it's not fair, because he's just out there trying to do a job, and at the end of the day, they did a call. We all know how radical some of those southern states can be, and some of those Americans can get kind of rowdy. So obviously I'm hoping nothing like that happens, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was some fallout from this one.
So we are not going to be live on Sunday for game 2 because it's my anniversary with my wife. But you will be around for Tuesday, correct? The 7 o'clock start, the first game in Abbotsford.
Possibly.
Okay. Well, we'll chat
Yeah,
because
I
Tuesday night is
will
also the
hopefully
night.
be around for the second intermission. We'll double check
Yeah. Tuesday night is going to be the night. I'm announcing
because
this now. Crystal is going to be
it's
joining
the
us.
British Columbia. Oh, well, there you go.
Sorry, what were you saying? British Columbia?
Oh, it's the British Columbia All Abilities Championship for golf.
Oh, yeah.
So that's Monday and Tuesday afternoon. So it'll depend what time I finish with that and get home. But I'm hoping I'll be home in time for at least the second intermission.
Cool. Sounds good, brother. Anything you want to say to chat before I let you go?
Oh, thanks for hanging out as always. Another big victory from these Abbotsford Canucks. It's been great to watch them. It's been great to keep you guys up to date and enjoy watching the games with you guys, seeing your questions and your comments. And hope everyone has a great weekend. And we'll see you soon.
Awesome, Dustin. Enjoy your the rest of your night, and we'll see you on possibly on Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Nothing is perfect.